Now, I don't really watch TNA Impact. The wrestling I watch, even back in the day, was just WWF or WWE. I never really cared too much about TNA Impact. And I know that sounds really weird, but honestly, I'm not the biggest fan, so I'm not going to watch like every single wrestling TV show. I mean, there's a lot others like Ring of Honor. I heard of Dragon's Gate, and Dragon's Gate is pretty good, but I never really got that interested in it. And WCW and all that, and I don't know. It's just I always found the WWF or E, well, when WW, I always found them the most interesting of the shows, and so I gave TNA Impact a watch, because TNA Impact so far is the biggest like competitor the WWE has. Like I don't hear anything about Ring of Honor, so I'm guessing TNA is the second biggest, the biggest competitor. And other than that, I only hear negative comments come out of TNA Impact. Like I don't know. Sometimes like I hear the worst comment I ever heard about TNA Impact was that it was from the Spoonie experiment, and he said that the best that TNA Impact is not even close compared to the worst the WWE had. And that's a bold statement. That really is. But I wanted to test it out if it was true, and I watched TNA Impact, and uh, uh, I'm gonna say it sucks. TNA Impact sucks. I mean, it's saying something if I say the WWE will make you feel stupid because it's stupid entertainment, but TNA Impact will dumbin you. There's a difference between making you feel stupid and just dumbing you down. Because like when you watch, let's say you watch an action movie, it it's dumb action, but you're just enjoy the explosions, and then you're watching something so dumb that you feel like your intelligence just like being taken away. That's the kind of dumb TNA Impact is. Because when I was watching, I was just going, "Oh my God, what is this?" And I watched the whole thing. Like I skipped commercials, but this episode of TNA Impact kind of I don't know if it sums up the whole show, but what I watched of that show was just, let's say you're watching it for the wrestling. 90% of the show, or I'd say like 95% of the show, is just talking. Like, I swear, there was a talk between Mick Foley and Ric Flair. Like, there's a feud between the two, and they have a fucking long argument that lasted like 20 minutes, and the argument, it was sort of embarrassing to watch because like Mick Foley was shouting at him, and it kind of made him sound a little gay. Because like I think he was going like, "I respect you, man. I respect you," and then like, "I want to face you," and then he was like crying or something. Like I know that came off as a little embarrassing. And then Ric Flair, who I thought retired a long time ago, but he is so insane. Like he would say the most nonsense comebacks, and then at the end of their argument, like Ric Flair, he did this thing where it's like, "You want to fight?" And then he's like, he goes through the ropes, he's like, "Ah!" And then the crowd just like, the crowd wasn't digging it at all. They were really quiet. And since I watched the since I watched the WWE, I'm used to a large crowd, so when I saw the TNA crowd, it was just this tiny crowd. I was like, this is really weird. And all the time in the WWE, you hear someone scream and shout, even if it was like silent. Like here, it's like silent. You can hear the air conditioning in the background. I've never heard that kind of silence in a wrestling show at all. And they and then like once in a while someone would shout "woo," but then like the crowd was just dead. It was one of the most dead crowds I've ever seen in my entire life. And what else? But if I were to give it positive comments, the wrestling, I admit, is a little better than the WWE's, because the wrestling, I mean, like, it's not as acrobatic, but it looks more brutal, because like the WWE won't allow blood like they used to, but not anymore. Nope. So it's kind of weird seeing blood again in a wrestling match, because like I've been watching new wrestling for a long time, so I'm not really, I used to be used to the blood, but then now that I see blood in a wrestling match, it's like, wow, that's kind of new. And then there's actually cursing for once. Like, it's, I won't say a throwback to the WWF, because if this was a throwback, it's a horrible, horrible tribute. But at least it's the closest. I mean, I still like the WWE better than TNA Impact, because TNA will make you feel stupid, but at least the wrestling is better than the WWE, I guess. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. But, on replay value, no, I'm not going to watch TNA over and over again, because based on this episode, I really don't care about this show. Because, there's a lot, I don't really care about any of the wrestlers, except maybe, I like Mick Foley, because that's coming from nostalgia. But everyone else, I kind of don't care about. Like, there was this tag team group who suck, and yet they're tag team champions. And, oh crap, there's a lot of things weird in the show, like, Kurt Angle, I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of used to him being a heel. And what else? There's Abyss, who's trying to come off as like Kane, but failing. I don't know if he's trying to be like Kane, but he comes off very Kane-like, and it sucks. And it looks like he's trying to actually kill someone on the ring, which is a little disturbing to watch, because his weapon is that he has like a bat with nails in it, a lot of nails, and I don't know, it just comes off as creepy. And everything else just feels really weird. I know, because like I'm coming out from the WWE, so like everything in the show is a little weird, but I'm kind of good at adjusting to a show real quick, and I didn't really adjust to this kind of well. Like, I didn't like how when they go to the locker room, it's kind of like a movie where in the WWE it looks live, but in this show it looks like it's a movie, so it has that weird movie feel, but it's not a good movie you're watching, so you really don't care. And then their lines don't really make sense, and then they say things that I don't understand, like Eric Bischoff mentioned something about the WCW, which was all the way back in the 90s, and like we're in 2010 and you're mentioning like small things all the way in from the 90s. I really don't know what to say about TNA Impact. It's just, I really just don't care about this show. Like, I don't care about AJ Styles. I don't care about Kurt Angle anymore, because after Kurt Angle left the WWE, the WWF, or maybe when it was the E, I don't remember. I don't care. I don't care about Jeff Hardy, because like I'm still in the phase where I have to see Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy together, because they're the Hardy brothers, so they have to be together. And I honestly don't care. Like, if I'm gonna end on a good note saying the wrestling is better than the WWE, because at least the wrestling is violent. Like okay, all wrestling is violent in general, but it's more violent on TNA because they can actually show blood, they can actually curse, and they it just looks more violent. It just looks more violent, and that's about it. Because storylines are bad, acting is bad, script is bad, crowd is silent, and the announcers are really stupid actually. Like, I didn't know the name of that old guy, but and then there's that guy named Taz, but I don't care. It's just me. I mean, I'm gonna stick to the WWE because TNA Impact is not for me.